tight end kind of challenges today, it seemed like.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to move Clayton Smith back tight end starting tomorrow. Challenge some people. You know, we got to create competition. The team's about competition, so Clayton's going to go back in the tight end room for one purpose, create competition.
With Kamari's situation, like, just how do you feel about that group, though, really going into the next couple weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I felt good up to today. Today was a bad day for the offense, worst day by far. We didn't look like an offense today. Couldn't move the ball. When we did move the ball, we got penalties. So they got to wake up. I told the defense, great job. Defense playing great. We're flying around, playing hard. Offense, not good enough today at all. And it wasn't just because the defense played well. It's one thing when you don't do well because they make great one-on-one plays. Like, that's football, right? Like in the scrimmage, there were some great one-on-one plays made on defense in the low red zone. Great effort plays, stopped explosives. Shit, I'm fired up about that. Those effort plays are still showing up on defense, but now there's critical internal errors on offense. Those are the things that you can't have. You can get beat one-on-one every once in a while. That's fine. But you can't have critical errors. And we had way too many critical errors today, and they got to wake up.
And any timetable on Kamari coming back?
Same timetable, hopefully around week 1, week 2, week 3, somewhere in that time frame.
Any other updates on guys available, not available?
Yeah, we've been. I mean, we held Reed out the last day. He's had super high workloads. Kind of got dinged up, but nothing serious at all. Should be working back here really shortly, but we all know about Gardner's out for the year.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think most guys should be returned to play here for the season.
Have you been impressed with Nick McClarty and his punting?
Yeah, he's been on fire right now. He's had a lot of really good punts here lately.
Is that a close battle, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a battle. I think competition brings the best out of both people. So I think both guys are competing at a high level.
What do you think about the safeties? Like Josiah McGrew came in, Lyric came in. Like, where are you at with that?
The length. I love the length of that group. I think we got 4 to 5 safeties right now who we feel like we could start for us in our league. And the length in that room shows up. The length of the defense is showing up to me all over the field.
You've talked about the freshmen before and how phenomenal they are. What about Daquan Dunn and how he's looked early on?
Yeah, I mean, he's been great. I mean, he's matured a lot since he's been here. He's made a lot of good plays. He's a good player. I mean, we felt like we got one when we signed him, and he's been that so far, spring through fall.
Lyric's the only new one on the Leadership Council. What is it about Lyric that you think led his teammates to do that?
I think he brings it every day. He's so consistent. I mean, when you talk about a guy who's just consistent every single day, you know what he's going to bring. And I think when you're consistent every single day, you communicate on the field, then you're physical, and you like football and people can feel it. I mean, all those things just kind of stack and stack and stack.
What did it mean to get the naming sponsor for the indoor facility and that announcement yesterday?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, the momentum here is really, really good. I mean, it's out like every couple months there's some positive news source support for the program, so we just got to continue to do that. We got to continue to ride that momentum wave and keep rocking.
How much are they listening to your feedback about making that building to the specifications that you would prefer?
Yeah, I think they're listening a good amount. I mean, there's always a balance in terms of what it's going to actually be. A coach is always going to ask for way more than he's probably going to get, rightfully so. And why wouldn't I? So I'm going to continue to push for more. And but at the end of the day, it's a collaborative effort to make sure it's the most functional building we can possibly have.
What are the most other than the proximity, right? What are the most important things that you're going to be able to get out of that?
The ability to transition in and out of practice. So going with big, huge garage doors, going from outside to inside to outside to inside, very, very efficiently. The ability we're going to be able to practice if it's lightning, right, which we can't do right now in our current setting. The ability for us to, create walkthroughs, not in 100, a ton of weather, and not having to transition 15 minutes over, 15 minutes back. So you want to do a 20-minute walkthrough, but right now, if you want to transition to the bubble, it's a 15-minute there, 15-minute back, so that 20-minute walkthrough is actually 50 minutes, so you can't do that. So it just creates the efficiency of those things, and hopefully some learning tools, whether it's some virtual reality stuff, some walkthrough walls associated with that, so we can actually teach. At the end of the day, we're teachers.
What did you see from Luke in the last couple of days to give him a look at the first-team left tackle?
We thought he's been playing really well. He's been playing consistent, and we felt like he deserved it.
What are your thoughts on this defensive line group? It seems like there's a lot of depth there.
Yeah, I think it's our deepest defensive line group. It's our biggest defensive line group, and they're having a really good camp. They're playing really good football together. I think that's the key for them is they're playing team ball, and I think that shows up when you watch the film.
It seems like there's a good mix of vets and young risers in that group. How do those two kind of collaborate together to help everyone along?
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of vets, and then there's the young guys like Julian, and one of the guys that I've been hardest on since he's been here for 2 years is Albert Smith. I mean, I feel like I've been on him every day for 2 years, and like I told him yesterday, I said, you're my new favorite guy. Like, he's playing at such a high level, he's playing consistent, and as long as he continues to do that, he's going to play for a long time in this game.
Coach, at the end of last year, you talked about the goal being to continually raise the floor of the program. In years like this, where there's so much turnover, is this maybe a better chance to evaluate where that floor is without those cornerstone guys?
I mean, I think the floor is when people think you underachieve and win 8 games, and when you take over a program, you win back-to-back 3. I would say the floor was raised pretty significantly right there. And I think that's what I mean by raise the floor is, when people expect more, than what they've expected in the past. I think that's what raising the floor is. So relative to every school you're at, every place you're at, there's different floor, there's different ceilings. There's an endless ceiling nowadays. And there's really an endless floor nowadays, but there's a history of the floor and the ceiling. And anytime you've raised that floor beyond what it was in the past, year in and year out, and I think last year was a good example of us having raised the floor. And we just got to continue to keep it up there.
Yep.
No, it's camp. I mean, I'm locked in. I'm pissed off today at how bad we played on offense. I'm fired up. I went from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde over there in my team meeting. It was like yelling, pissed off, to super excited, all in one conversation. Because that's what it is. Super excited about how we played on defense today, not excited about how we played on offense today. So we got to be a team. If we want to be a team, we got to work together. We got to play together.
Thanks,
Kenny.
Kenny.